Quickly covering the rest of the matches from the card, we had Okada and Dax Harwood for the Continental Championship. This is the one that kind of felt out of nowhere. Okada wins, obviously.
Yeah, it was a good match.
It was a good match, but yeah, it just kind of
was it
happened.
for the title?
Yeah, right. It didn't have to be.
Nope.
You're just throwing it on there because you can.
It's cool, but there's no way to make a title feel more meaningless than to just constantly feature it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a middle ground.
One thing I think a lot, real quick, the Continental Classic was so cool.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Kingston won it all, and it was a super good moment.
Yep.
And then it's all of a sudden like, all right, now we're going to have a number one contenders match to see who will challenge Eddie Kingston for the Continental Crown Championship. And it's like, then you immediately kill that.
Right.
Because it's like, we went through all this shit to crown a champion, and now it's just a normal championship that can be contended for normally.
Yeah, it just exists now, and it's not... it doesn't feel special. It's just like, oh, here's another title, just because they need a mid-card title. Which they already have. They have the TNT Championship, so it's like...
They have too many belts.
Yeah, they really do.
A problem.
Yeah.
And when you think of like just AEW alone, and then also like Ring of Honor, it's just a hodgepodge of like...
There's so many.
And like it's not like they cross promote like, you know, Ring of Honor championships in Dynamite. So then you're like, oh, like, I don't know who it is now, but like the pure champion of Ring of Honor, I think is fucking... I was gonna say Wheeler Yuta, but I don't even think it's him.
No.
Shibata? I don't really know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there needs to be a middle ground where, like, so you have AEW where they do too many title matches, right? Just randomly because they can. And they have so many belts. And then you have WWE, who's the polar opposite, where people only lose titles at pay-per-views, right? Or PLEs, rather. I feel like there needs to be a middle ground, because you think of, like, the classic moment, right, where Mick Foley randomly becomes WWE champion on an episode of Raw, right? Like, that's a legendary, just random moment.
Yeah. I think about The Miz when he cashed in on Rainy.
Right. But even cash-ins, right? Like, that's the only other time we see them on, like, Raw or SmackDown, is a cash-in. Like, Big E when he cashed in Boston. Massive fucking moment. But again, it was only with a cash-in. Cash-ins help when, like the cash-in, you know that it's eventually going to happen. Could happen at a PLE, or it could happen on a random episode. But I think every once in a while, like, if we have a title change, then it'll feel... If it's the right person. And I know they need the times to build the stories and build them, and that's why they do them at the PLEs, because a lot of times those are sign-offs to stories in WWE. But if it happened just every once in a while, the pop that it would get, if it's the right person, again, could be absolutely insane.
Yeah. Even it used to happen on AEW a lot too.
Yeah.
Even if it was like a special event, like Winter is Coming, or like, you know, whatever, those little TV specials they do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's something that hits different about somebody winning a championship on TV.
Yeah.
And I wish there was more of it, you know?
Yeah. I wish there was more of it, but also like AEW had that middle ground for a bit where they didn't have that many belts, and you would have those title changes every once in a while, like on TV. And it felt good. Like, they had a good middle ground. But now they have too many belts, and they do it too often. So it's like, they lost their middle ground, and they just went too far with it.
It sucks because, like, I feel like when you introduce a championship, it's so hard to axe that championship from everything. And, like, I liked when AEW, like, had like, you know, your world title, your mid card title, the women's championship, the TBS championship, the tag championships, and then like I think when they introduced the what did they call it at the time? It's the international championship now, but it was called something else. But
yeah,
when they introduced that, like I was like, okay, cool, like this is fine. But then they just showed up. The trios is fine. I've always loved the idea of a trios championship, but even now it's like I don't feel the importance in those right now.